top story today. Gilas Pilipinas wrapping up the February window of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. And now joining us for an all-out discussion is who else? The one and only head coach of Gilas Pilipinas, Coach Chot Reyes. Hi, Coach. Good morning. Welcome back to the show.
Morning. Nice. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you for agreeing to do this. And I'm assuming you're back home. You're back home already. You're out of the bubble and you're back there at Casa Reyes. Coach, okay, your makeshift lineup. Splitting your games in the February window, winning against India last Friday and then losing against New Zealand yesterday. And we heard you saying, quote, there are certainly a lot of bright spots. And I agree. There's a lot of things to build on. We have to put in the work. Tell us more, Coach, about your overall assessment and what are the things that you want to build on moving forward with this program.
Well, as in anything, we have to assess ourselves compared to the goals that we set beforehand. And if you will remember, the goals we had were to be able to field a competitive team while at the same time preparing for the future. And I think we were able to achieve that. We were competitive. First of all, we had the team. Remember when I assumed this position on February 1, we had no team. Yeah, we couldn't even get a practice going with the remaining Gilas guys, right? So at least we were able to field the team, and the team competed. And I thought we made the definite strides for the future with the way Thirdy, Dwight, and even Ange Kwame played.
Yeah.
So compared to those goals, I think it was. I'm pretty satisfied with the result. Obviously, a lot of people, the dampener is the final score of the New Zealand match. But that shouldn't get in the way of our overall objective. And like Gabe Norwood said in that interview, we should keep our eye on the big picture.
I agree. I remember first time I talked to you when you were back as head coach. Wala pang 5 or basta 5 pa lang yung players sa pool. That's why you had to inject the TNT players because of the system that you were gonna run. I remember that, Coach, and that was 2 weeks ago. From your perspective, Coach, Coach Chot, ikaw, from your perspective, I wanna get what happened in that. Kasi India, we started off a little bit slow, shaky nung start nun sa India. Pero sabi ko nung second quarter, third quarter, na lalo ng third after nung halftime. Talagang sabi ko, okay tong Gilas. You were like working like a well-oiled machine. As compared to New Zealand, Coach, there were times na okay, and then we couldn't quite catch up. What happened in your opinion? Kumbaga, what's your take on what happened with New Zealand, whom we know naman, this team is very intact and is one of the best in the world?
Yeah, well, in the end, we couldn't sustain. Like you said, we had flashes of brilliance. There were times we were moving well. But we don't have a full complement of players that have the experience of playing on this level. That's number one. Secondly, I thought our misses really were crucial for us. I thought we had a lot of chances. We had 12 steals, which we were not able to translate into fast break points. So New Zealand beat us in the fast break department and in the second chance points department because they out-rebounded us. So our lack of size as well clearly showed. In the interview of Pawi, of course, people are going to look for the big guys, but they have to remember, as much as we want to have them, they're not available at this time.
Yeah.
So, yun lang ang gusto ko paalala sa ating mga kababayan. I mean, we'd love to have the players that we'd love, pero hindi available. So, we have to go with what we have, right? We have to do with with the guys who are available, and credit to them for even trying and competing. As against, we would do a Korea, magdi-default na lang tayo kung di tayo sisipot, di ba? So, at least we put a team in there. And like I said, there's a lot to build on for the future.
Yes, and lumaban, watching Kelly Williams, nostalgic for me kasi growing up, I watched Kelly and talagang lumalaban. These guys that answer the call and talagang really, you could see naman that they really fought and tried to keep up with New Zealand. Okay, we all know Coach, na yun nga, yung time, di ba? Press for time tayo with this February window eh. As I mentioned, you had a makeshift lineup and then you prepared heavily for a team that didn't even show up to the qualifiers, di ba? We were focused on Korea. South Korea, Coach, twice dapat natin makakaharap yan. Can you just paint us a picture, Coach, of what it was like to go through this and you know, what you had to overcome to do it? Like, focus on Korea, we're gonna face them twice, and then wala sila because of COVID-19. Okay, shift tayo to India, shift tayo to New Zealand.
Yeah, well, when we found out, then the one thing that we said was, this is what we prepared for, right? We wanted to really put a team that could be versatile and flexible. And this was a good test. It's good that it came at this point.
Yeah.
It was a good test of our ability to adjust. I think that was very, very important. But I think the key really is, if you will notice the players who played well, Dwight and 30, they're the guys who are playing. But they've been playing in Japan.
Yeah.
But guys, for example, like Ange, I mean, we have to cut those guys a lot of slack because Ange hasn't played a competitive game since July or August last year in the Kings Cup in Jordan. Can you imagine? I mean, if you understand basketball, you know how difficult that is, di ba, Andre? Maski araw-araw ka mag-practice, if you haven't been playing competitive games, then you're not going to be in game shape. You don't have the edge. You won't have the timing. Same thing with Will Navarro, sila JD Tungkab. It's really very difficult for them. They were put in a very difficult position. That's why I said I'm very proud of the fact that despite all of that, they came out and they played hard and they gave it their best. Obviously, it wasn't enough. We're all disappointed with the result. But you know, Roger Pugoy, hindi nga naglaro sa talk and text yun because he was nursing an injury. And then he comes out to play here in this game. So, you know, those are the things that well, we're not making excuses, but I hope maintindihan lang ng ating I hope maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan.
I understand, Coach, 30 Ravenna binanggit natin and Dwight Ramos. You called 30 and Dwight the future of this Gilas program. And why not? Gandang pinapakita. Sabi mo nga, tuloy-tuloy pa yung laro nila. Galing sa B-League, ongoing yung B-League. Big words coming from you, Coach, especially considering your history with the team and the players you handled in the past. I want to get your individual assessment of these two players. Kanina binabanggit mo, but let's delve deeper as we take a look at the numbers here. See 30 first on our screens. 30 average, 19 points, 3 boards, close to 4 assists, 3.5 assists, in 29 minutes of play. Kapon, I believe 32, 34 si 30. Alam natin that he struggles sa free throw line. Sabi din niya mismo, he has to improve. But overall, Coach, did 30 live up to your expectations?
Yes, definitely. And again, like I said, the numbers of Dwight and 30 only tell a part of the story.
Yes. Because
the bigger part of this is their leadership abilities. And that's what we're working on. How they can become better leaders as well, to be the leaders of this team. And on that regard, you know, their work ethic, the way they model the kind of behavior that we want from the others, their communicativeness and their ability to be to put themselves on the line and be very selfless for the others. I think those are big steps towards their leadership development, and that's going to be very important for us for next year and even beyond next year.
Okay, Coach, we will take a quick break. Stay with us. We still have Coach Chot Reyes live here on Sports Desk. Stay tuned to CNN Philippines. And we go all out for the day's top sports stories. We'll be right back. Still have with us today, this Monday, Gilas Pilipinas head coach Chot Reyes. And if, in case you're just joining us, Coach Chot and I have been talking about the national team's performance in the February window of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. Coach Chot, thank you again for joining us today. Coach, you touched on Dwight's performance kanina. Balikan lang natin yung numbers niya on our screens. Sabi mo nga kanina din, beyond sa nakikita natin on the hard court, it's their leadership. Pero Dwight was averaging 17.5 points, 7 boards, and 2.5 assists a game in 27.6 minutes per game in the 2 games he played here in the window. Si Dwight ba and 30, Coach Chot, do they remind you of any of the previous Gilas players you coached before?
Not really. They're very different. They're a very different mold. I think this is the modern player that we're seeing. So they are just. That's why I think it's very important for them to grow into their own identity and not try to fill in anyone's shoes. They have to develop their who they have to be the first Dwight Ramos. Third has to be the first 30 Ravenna. We're not expecting them to follow in the footsteps of anyone, but then we want them to just continue leading and developing because I think that's going to be good for the program moving forward.
Besides ito sina Dwight and 30, we've been talking about them. Who else stood out for you among the non-TNT players, Coach?
Obviously, Ange Kwame had a lot it's so obvious that he has a lot of room for development. But remember, he's coming off 2 years of inactivity, right? Basically, for the last year and a half, wala siyang sayang yung 1 year and a half in his basketball development, in his growth as a basketball player. So we have to get it back. We have to get that back, and he has to be competing against guys who are bigger, taller than him. That's why this experience was invaluable for him to play guys like Rob Lowe. Remember, Ange is what, 22, 23 years old? Rob Lowe, the 7-footer of New Zealand last night, is 30, 31 years old.
May edad na si Rob Lowe.
Yung kamatchup ni 30, si Brewster, their other leading scorer, is 30 years old. I mean, all of these guys have 6-7 years experience edge against our players. So for them to be able to get to that level, yung ibig nga natin sabihin sa Tagalog, di ba, marami pang kakainin. Pero ito nga yun. That's why Ange has to go through these experiences. He has to get battle against people who are just as tall as he is, in fact even bigger than he is, and then figure out the ways to compete against them.
Grabe. Just watching the highlights again and hearing the crowd, and I was there on both occasions sa Big Dome. Coach, on a more personal note, this is your first tournament back as Gilas head coach, di ba? Tagal na, I believe 2018 was your last time for Gilas. How did you find it? Especially since, di ba, you were able to coach in front of the crowd, faithful, hostile. Yung hearing the crowd again and, being back there, coaching Laban Pilipinas Puso, how was the whole experience again the past few days for you, Coach?
Every time you coach in your hometown, it's always a special moment, right? So, that feeling never gets old. But realistically, when the ball game starts, I have blinders. I don't hear much. I don't see much because my entire focus on what's going on in front of me.
Which, eto, Coach, hindi natin maiiwasan naman yung mga bashers, di ba, yung mga haters. And sabi mo nga, once a game starts, naka-zone out ka na and tune out. I'm not sure if you did hear sa Big Dome yesterday, but there were some, there were some chants and may sumisigaw, and kahit online, ang dami nagsasabi, yung "We want Baldwin" chants, referring to Coach Tab. Is it okay, Coach, if I was talking to you off the air about this? Can we get your reaction on this?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, even to our media friends, I have nothing to hide. If you have questions, just come out and ask it. I have nothing to hide. It's okay. I did not hear it last night, to be very honest.
Okay.
But my family, people who heard it, told me about it. And just very honestly, I expected it. I came into this job. I accepted this job with my eyes wide open. I had no pretensions. I had no illusions that this was going to be easy. I knew I was going to get I knew I was going to get widely bashed and criticized and hated upon, and I still took it nonetheless because that's never going to get in the way of my service to my country. And that's the least of my problems. I have a lot bigger problems on my plate right now than to mind those the haters and the bashers. And to be very honest, they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Hindi naman nila alam anong nangyayari. They don't know what's going on inside. I mean, if they are here inside, and then they can speak and they can comment all they want if they know what's going on. But unless they're here inside, in the very inner, the innards of the team, then they whatever they say has very little meaning to me. I don't pay any attention to it, except ang ang pakiusap ko lang, and this is not for the bashers, nothing to do with basketball. But for Filipinos and everyone in general, we never know what people are going through. So just be kind. Hindi natin alam anong pinagdadaanan ng mga tao. So, narinig natin all the time yan dito sa, because of the pandemic, di ba, that we don't know what others are going. Just be kind and be compassionate, because hating, all your hatred will get you nowhere. That bitterness inside of those who are hating on the program or on me personally, what are you going to get from that, right? So just be kind. Just be kind, and because we never really know what other people are going through.
Thank you, Coach, for that. And kaya ka nga din life coach. And thank you for answering that question, Coach. Maraming salamat. Kaya nga, believe din talaga ako sa iyo. Hindi nila alam ang pinagdadaanan mo. If there's a man for the job, it's Chot Reyes for sure. Moving forward, Coach, dito na tayo sa plans moving forward. Alam natin, mahaba pa bago ng World Cup. Marami parang pagdadaanan. Meron pa yung SEA Games, ang dami pang mangyayari. Kasi alam din natin, wala yung ibang college players, di ba? Including, I believe, Ange Kwame because of the UAAP, tas yung sa NCAA. Then, what are the plans, Coach, moving forward in the run-up? Unahin muna natin to the SEA Games, Coach.
No, there's no rest for the weary as we speak. Ngayon lang, I'm messaging with Commissioner Willie Marshall of the PBA because we're trying to set a meeting today. All right.
Okay.
This very day.
Okay.
To plan already the schedule so that we can synchronize calendars with all of the competition of Gilas as well as the PBA calendar. Because we're already foreseeing a lot of problems down the road. Again, alam ko na yan, pagdating ng SEA Games, ang dami na naman magtatanong, bakit wala si ganito, wala si ganyan, may UAAP nga, may NCAA nga. So, ayaw nga sila, hindi nga sila pwede. So, but that all comes with the territory.
Yes.
So, we cannot tell you anything much by way of plans because like I said, we're just in the process. Hopefully, we can get all the meetings done this week so that we can come up with a semblance of a program starting March.
Coach, ikaw, tanungin kita, sino ba ang nasa dream lineup mo? Both players and coaching staff, we hear names. Of course, yung mga Kai Soto, AJ Edu, Jordan Clarkson even. I don't know if it's possible, the Jalen Greens in the world. Again, I don't know. Mas alam mo. And even as Polstra, Coach, sino yung nasa dream lineup mo realistically, both sa players and sa coaching staff, Coach Chot?
There's no question that Kai Soto and AJ Edu are at the top of our list because precisely we need size. As we saw last night, di ba? Kulang talaga tayo sa size. Ange Kwame alone can't handle that. So we need a couple more 6'10", 6'11" guys. We're still Japet Aguilar, Junmar Fajardo, they're still in our radar because we'll never know. We won't know by 2023. So we're keeping our options open. Wala tayong ine-echapuera. We're keeping everyone in the mix, Ikara. Obviously, Jordan Clarkson is very high on that priority, but we don't know. Will he be allowed to play as a local? If not, then we might have to make a decision. Then we will have to make a decision between him and Ange Kwame. So I cannot tell you right now what that is going to look like. And then there are some other guys. I said it before. I'm saying it again. I would have loved to have Balti Baltasar, Carl Tamayo here, Dave Ildefonso here, Gio Chu, S.J. Belangel, all those collegiate players who just couldn't be made available because obviously mag-umpisa na yung UAP. Their schools are already in a bubble and they're training. As for the coaching staff, I still I'm looking forward to having Coach Tab be part of the staff as a consultant or advisor of some sort. Hopefully, we can convince Coach Po. I know he is part of the Team USA coaching staff, but maybe just in the run-up, yung preparation lang natin, maybe he can help us. That's going to be crucial. I'll be talking to Coach Tim Cone as well. But then again, that will depend as well on the PBA schedules and his availability. We're very open. We're very inclusive. We want to get all the best ideas possible. because my job here is to prepare the best team for 2023. So if you are going to judge me, please judge me on 2023, not for one game last night.
Tama. Tama. Coach, mabuhay ka. Maraming salamat again for taking time this Monday morning. Thank you, Coach. Rooting for you, alam mo yun. Thank you, Coach. Regards to the family. Stay safe. God bless you, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, that was Gilas Pilipinas, current head coach, one and only Coach Chot Reyes.